Good morning. This is Sarah from Posh Pooch Designs, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a beaded crochet necklace. This one is made with number 10 crochet thread and these little disc beads. I believe they are wooden. This one is made with sport weight yarn and pearls and silver beads. This one is made with crochet thread and big chunky beads. This one is also made with crochet yarn and small glass beads. And this one in my lap here is made with a chunky yarn and silver beads. So you can use just about any kind of bead and any kind of yarn or crochet thread. And the main thing is when you thread your needle that you can get your needle through the bead with the yarn or crochet thread on it. Because if the bead hole is too small, you can't use that bead. So this is what we're going to need today. You're going to need an F hook to do your chaining, or if you've chosen a bigger yarn, you'll want to use the hook that goes with that yarn. But even when I'm making the chunky ones, just chaining, I really like to use my F hook because I want a nice tight chain. Then you're also going to need a yarn needle that has a nice big hole that can also fit through your beads. And then you're also going to need some beads. And I picked up a bag from Hobby Lobby, and these are all little flower beads. I don't want to dump them out. And I separated the yellow ones because I'm going to use the yellow ones today for our demonstration. And then I'm going to use Red Heart with Love worsted weight yarn, and I'm using this because I think it's a good yarn to show how to do it rather than use a crochet thread or a chunky. I think this is a good yarn. And so my necklace is going to be white yarn with these pretty little yellow, let me pull them out of there so you can see them better, beads. All right, let's get started. And to do that, I'm gonna pull the screen down so you can see my hands. And there's those pretty beads. Okay. Let me move these other bead necklaces that I've already made. And the end of my yarn. When I was pulling this out, I did what we hate, and I got a yarn barf. Now, when you're going to make your necklace, do not cut it off your yarn. Leave it hooked on your skein or your ball. And the first thing you're going to do, of course, let me move this so we can see better. The first thing that you're going to do is thread that needle. And I just wrap that yarn around it and then stick that little bump right through there. So your yarn is threaded onto your needle. And now we're going to use those beads. And I'm going to pour these out on the table just to make it a little bit easier. And you're just going to one by one. And the pattern for this is on my blog. I'll leave that link for you in the comments. And it says to chain 5 between each bead. Now, that's totally up to you how far apart you want your beads to be and how many beads to add. On that pattern, you will add 30 beads and chain 5 between. You'll get a nice long necklace. This is also a really great beginner pattern for little girls or little boys who are wanting to learn to crochet, but see single crochet and double crochet as being a little bit intimidating. Because this is really, all you're doing is chaining. Now you're going to, once you've decided how many beads you want on your necklace, you're going to put all of the beads on there. That one jumped away from me. Okay, so I've got all the beads on my yarn. It's still hooked to my skein. And so I'm going to take my needle off and just set that needle aside and get my hook. Now what you're going to do, make your slip chain to begin with. And then I am going to chain 5, just like the pattern says, in between each one. So first we're going, all those beads are pushed down, and then you're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, you're going to push the first bead up to the hook, almost called it a needle, and then you're going to yarn over your crochet hook and pull a chain through, and then you'll chain 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now push another bead up, yarn over, and chain 5 more. And this is giving you your necklace. Now I want to show you how this looks. With this one, because the beads are kind of flat, you're going to get where they kind of, drop down. But like I said, you can use a glass bead, you can use a plastic bead, you can use a wooden bead. And something that I like to do is swing by the thrift stores every now and then and look in their used jewelry sections, and you can find some fun vintage beads. You can find little charms and make some really wonderful necklaces. And depending on the kind of bead that you choose, depends on the look. The one I showed you that was black, sport weight yarn, I added pearls and silver beads, and it makes for a really classy necklace. And I made it really long. It's like 48 inches long. Whoops, had a little string there. And sometimes I twist it 3 times around my neck if I'm wearing a turtleneck. It looks really pretty in the winter, but it also looks really great with just my black tank top. There you go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beads on. And like this is just going to be a really sunny little necklace, and it'll be perfect for wearing, to like a beach party or a swim party, or just out for the evening with a bunch of girls and we're just going and having some fun. So depending on the beads you choose depends on the look. And like I said, you can use any weight yarn and any beads. The most important thing is that once you've threaded your needle, that you can get that needle through those beads to get them on. 5. We got 3 more beads to do. And another thing, these beads are real close together, and if you want them farther apart, just chain 10 or chain 15 or however far apart you want your beads to be, and it makes a really cool little necklace. The distance between the beads doesn't matter. It's what you're looking for. Another thing you can do to find really good beads is to go to the jewelry department at Walmart or Target or Sears or Kohl's and see what's on clearance. Because you can get something that maybe they've put together that's on clearance, that's really cheap, a couple of bucks, and really make something really spectacular to wear. I've done that when I've had them had broken beads and they were like a buck. And then I take those beads and make a really cool necklace or bracelet for that matter. Okay, so we've got all of our beads on our necklace. I scooted that too far. There we go. Got all the beads on the necklace, as you can see. Then we're going to take our scissors, and I just try to get about an 8-inch, piece of yarn. And then you're going to loop that over and tie that off. And then the way that I do this, I just put it together to the top of the beads, and I just do the little whip knot like this. Pull that through, and just pull on that, making sure it's nice and snug. And there you have it. Sometimes I'll add an extra bead here just to hold it, and I'll show you how to do that. Put my needle back on. I went through using both strands of yarn, as you can see. And I'll just grab one of these little white ones because I don't have any more yellow. And I'll put that bead on there, take my needle off, and I'll just make another knot. And this is also a really cool way just to add a little pendant if you want to. But I just do that because I think it just makes it stay a little bit more secure. And it kind of lets you know where the back of the necklace is too. And you just make a couple of knots. You gotta make sure you got knots big enough where that bead doesn't slip over. There you go. And then I cut that off. And there you go. There's your necklace. Now, what you can also do is, if you're worried about this knot coming undone, put a little dab of spray check on it or a little dab of hot glue, and it'll keep it from coming off. So there you have it. That's your pretty little necklace. This one's the perfect size for one of my granddaughters, so I'll probably have to stick that in one of their birthday bags. Thanks for watching our video today, and I hope that it has helped you. And look for that. I'll put that in the comments, the pattern on the blogs, so you have that that you can look at when you go to make it. Like I said, thank you.